Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today is February 3rd, and this is the lesson video if you are absent from class today, or if you want to go ahead and re-watch today's lesson. So the first thing that I want to remind you is you need to scroll down to this part right here on your Google Classroom in order to access the videos as well as the information that you need to make up. So today when you go under classwork, and underneath today's date, you can see the daily directions. So you have a decimal subtraction Jamboard that I am doing for a grade. So please make sure that you work on that independently and then submit your assignment, followed up with a decimal subtraction practice Jamboard. So the first thing that you are going to click on today is this decimal modeling Jamboard. When you open it up, it's going to look like this. So what you need to do on here is go ahead and look at the model and tell me what subtraction problem is represented in this model, as well as on this problem too. One of the things you can do is hit this zoom in button, hit 100%, and you can really see the problem in order to count the boxes as well as what is being crossed out. And then you write your answers on the line. To get back to viewing the whole entire screen, you just go ahead back up here where that zoom button is, and then you just hit fit to screen. Down here, you're being asked to represent the problems. The best way is when you color, the paintbrush is a really good option. So if I click the paintbrush and I'm going to pick something that is not black, so if I hit the blue, and then you can see that when you paint, it covers over the boxes, but you can still see through it, which is really nice. And then all I'm going to do is switch back to the pen for when I need to cross out the things that I am deleting. So again, you need to complete this independently and turn it in on Google Classroom. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is go over these 3 subtraction problems. So what I want you to do is push pause on the video, go and grab a notebook so you can take some notes and have these examples, and then you will be ready to go when you do your independent assignment. All right, and then also don't forget that you can hit pause at any time during our teaching videos, so that way you can catch up in your notebook as you follow along. All right, so the first thing that I want you to do is copy down this first problem right here in your notebook. Make sure that when you're copying the problem down that all of your place values are lined up just like they are in this video. So we have 84 and 4/10 minus 46 and 38/100. Now we talked about this a lot with addition, but it's extra important with subtraction. When you are going to solve a subtraction problem, the first thing you need to do is put in a placeholder. So you can see that right now this box is empty. So what this column is basically saying is blank space minus 8. Well, in that blank space, there has to be something. And what we're going to do is put 0 as a placeholder. Now we can take our place values one at a time. So we're going to start here. Can I do 0 take away 8? 0, if I have 0 something, I can't take away 8, so I'm going to have to go and regroup. So we're going to cross out the 4, turn that into a 3, and that 1 that we're taking away from the 4, we're going to slide in front and turn that 0 into a 10. Essentially what we're doing, if you're thinking money and this is like $84.40 minus $46.38, what this is saying is, all right, you have 0 pennies, give me 8 pennies. But you can't do that because you have 0 pennies. So we are trading in a dime for 10 pennies. Still the same value, but now instead of having that dime, we are representing that amount in pennies, and now I can subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. So now in your notebooks, let's go over to the next place value. 3 minus 3, I can do that. Put a 0 there. And again, you're seeing I'm going one spot at a time. Well, there's my decimal point, so I want to make sure that I bring that down into my answer. And now, here we go. 4 take away 6. Well, the number on the bottom is larger than the number on the top, so I cannot subtract without regrouping. So we're going to go to our neighbor next door, cross out the 8, turn the 8 into a 7, and we're going to slide that 1 right in front. And now we can do 14 take away 6, 7 take away 4. There you go. Also, at any time you can pause the video, try the problem by yourself and come back to the video and see how you did. All right, so now let's copy this problem in our notebooks. 64 minus 26 and 1/10. So hopefully when you started to write this down, you were already thinking about that step. So first we line up our place values just like you see in the video. Second, we have to put in our placeholders. So if you haven't put a 0 in those blank spots, let's put that there. And we have to make sure that we include the decimal point because we don't want to change 64 to 640, and making sure that everything is lined up in the place values where they need to be. All right, so let's go ahead and take it one place value at a time. So in your notebooks, you can't do 0 minus 1. So we're going to go over one place value so we can regroup. Go ahead and cross out the 4. We're going to turn that into a 3. And then bring that 1 right in front. So now I can do 10 take away 1. 10 take away 1 is 9. I'm going to go over that 1 place value. There's my decimal point. I need that. And now let's take a look. 3 minus 6. Can't do 3 minus 6. So we're going to cross out that 6 in the neighboring place value. Turn that into a 5 and slide the 1 right in front of the 3. So now we have 13 minus 6. All right. And then I can do 5 minus 2. And there's our answer. All right, we're going to do one more in our notebook. So we're going to move over to this problem where it says 50 minus 12 and 1/10. This one is a little bit different because we are going to be doing something called regrouping across zeros, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Again, pause the video if you need to copy down the problem, as well as if you want to try it yourself first and then come back and see how you did. Now that we have the problem written down, everything is lined up. We're going to put our decimal point there and put our placeholder. So now it's time to subtract. So when we subtract, again, we're going to start in our place value all the way to the right. I can't do 0 take away 1, so I know I have to go to my neighbor and do some borrowing. But when I go to my neighbor's a 0. There's nothing for me to borrow. So I have to keep going. So now I have to go to the 5. So go ahead, we're going to cross out that 5 and we're going to turn it into a 4. The 1 that we're taking away from the 5, we're going to slide right in front. So now this says 10. What's nice is, well, this 0 can now borrow from this 10. So we're going to cross out this 10 and we're going to take 1 from there and make it 9. And we're going to slide that 1 right in there. And now you can see that all of my numbers, the 4, the 9, and the 10 on top, are greater than the digits below. So I can subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. Bring down my decimal point. 9 minus 2 is 7. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So after you have written these in your notebook, you're going to want to use them to help you on this independent practice assignment. So on our Google Classroom, you can see that first you did this subtraction modeling and making sure that you turn it in. And now your next Jamboard here is the Teacher Center Decimal Subtraction Practice. And it looks like this. So your job now is to take what we just went over and go ahead and apply that skill to here. Remember, the first thing that you have to make sure that you do before you subtract is you want to make sure you're putting in your placeholders. You have to regroup. You have to regroup when necessary, okay? So seeing that just like that. Before you begin, go ahead and do these 6 problems and make sure you hit turn in when you are done.